welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kaylee and I'm a homeschool mom of two. They'll be going into 8th and 6th grade next year. This video is the curriculum picks for my upcoming 6th grader for the 2022-2023 school year. Now she is a very young 6th grader. Actually, if she was public school, she'd probably be only going into 5th grade. I somewhat regret starting her quite as early because now she wants to keep going year to year. And some of her work though may not be quite 6th grade level. I actually had to take her back this past year in math a little bit and kind of go back and review multiplication and division. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our math, and that is Math UC. So she used to do math lessons for living education, but she was really struggling with multiplication. So this year I took her back to the multiplication level in Math UC with Gamma. She worked through that in a semester, and now she's working through the division level Delta. She might not finish that by the end of this year, so she may still be continuing Delta towards the beginning of next year. And then I went ahead and got this level Epsilon, which is fractions, for her to work on once she finishes the level Delta. She has enjoyed doing Math UC and has actually asked to continue this. So that's why I went ahead and went with this instead of taking her back to the math lessons for living education after getting her kind of better review on her multiplication and division facts. This comes with the teacher's guide and the DVD, so she watches the videos on her own and then is able to work through the majority of these on her own. It does have a test booklet with the tests for each lesson. There are 30 lessons per book in Math UC, and then the student workbook. This has worked great for us because there are several sheets for each lesson, and sometimes, you know, she only needs to work through 1 or 2, and sometimes she needs to work through 4 of them, and to get enough practice for each lesson. And so you can use as many or as little as you need to of the worksheets, and then you have extras. So if you need to use them later, like if you want to use them in the summer as a review, you can use the extra worksheets that way. So that is her math for next year. I do not have our Bible curriculum yet because I just decided what we were going to do and ordered it, but I haven't gotten it in yet. We are going to try Christian Light Education, and I have decided to go with grade 5 for both my kids so that they can do it together, and that starts them at the beginning of the Old Testament. So if we work through each level, then level 5 and 6 are Old Testament, and 7 and 8 would be New Testament. So we'll see how we like it, but that way, if we choose to continue using it, we can just work through the Bible that way. Now, for history, she is going to be using Book Shark H with her brother. She is just going to be doing the history portion of this. I know that age-wise, this is a little bit higher level than her age and her grade, but I figure she can listen to the read-alouds and to the history spine, which is Story of the World. And so this uses Story of the World, volumes 3 and 4, and I just have volume 3 so far. I haven't gotten volume 4. But she can listen to the Story of the World and listen to our read-alouds. And I did go ahead and get the activity book, so she can do coloring pages and extra crafts or activities and map pages that come in this book. It also has some other book suggestions and craft activities and all sorts of things like that in here. And then it has student pages so they can color while you read and do the map pages. I like the paper map pages that come with this, so I may be having them do those as opposed to just the laminated map that comes with Book Shark, so that way they can each have their own maps to do with each chapter from Story of the World. I also bought the test booklet. I don't know whether or not we'll use it. Maybe we'll use it orally. Maybe I'll have them do it while we read just to kind of reinforce what we're reading. I'm not sure yet. So I haven't bought level 4 or volume 4 of the Story of the World that goes with it yet because I wanted to see how much of the activity book we use before I decide whether or not to purchase that. But the Story of the World books are supposed to be, you know, like not super hard to read and understand, so I figure she can listen to this and that would be fine for her history. The Book Shark also uses this encyclopedia to go with it and has a couple pages each day almost to go along with the history. And then these are just a few of the read alouds that will go along with it that she'll be listening to. The Breadwinner, Year of Impossible Goodbyes, Homeless Bird, Banner in the Sky, Only the Names Remain, The Arrow Over the Door, and Master Cornhill. Now there are a few other books that will be included in it. Either I can get those from the library or I haven't found them yet. So I still think it'll be okay for her even though it's a little bit higher level. If for some reason it's not, then we'll take it as it comes and I will change history for her if I need to. So she is not going to be doing the literature portion of Book Shark. It does have a literature portion that they can read on their own. My older son is going to read those readers for his literature. But my daughter has asked to continue using Lightning Literature. She used level 4 this year and asked to continue, so I went ahead and purchased grade 5. This is the student workbook. It's very large, you can see. And it also comes with the teacher's guide. So I didn't purchase the book kit. I have some of the books and some of them we can find at the library. So I actually only purchased like 2 books because they were ones I couldn't find at the library or we didn't already have. So I can tell you this is a table of contents and the books that we are going to read with it. The Mighty Miss Malone, Holes. It does have poetry units spread throughout the book, I think. And the poetry units actually have the poems inside the book, so they don't have to have a separate book for that. Then it has Number the Stars, Boy, Tales of Childhood, The Tripods, Brown Girl Dreaming, The Phantom Toll Booth, I Am Malala, and Anne of Green Gables. So those will be the books that she'll be going through for Lightning Literature. Now, Lightning Literature includes the discussion questions or comprehension questions for each of the books. And so each has like a box with the questions. And then it also has grammar and writing. So each week has a checklist that tells you what the student will be doing each week. For the writing, she did not do the Lightning Literature composition this year because she was taking an IEW class with another mom. This year, I do plan to not send her to a writing class this year, just for time purposes. We want to be a little bit more flexible than having to be at a certain class every week. So this has mostly writing prompts, and it tells you like the type of paper that you're going to write, whether it's a personal essay or a descriptive essay or things like that. So my intention is for her to kind of go along with the prompts of writing in this book, but because this doesn't really have a lot of actual instruction, she is going to use this jump in writing for instruction. This comes with the student guide and a teacher's guide. I actually had this spiral bound, so it doesn't come this way, it comes as a book. But I went ahead and had it spiral bound just because I find that a lot easier to work with. But this has different types of writing, and it shows you, persuasion, opinion, how-to, biography, reports, things like that. And then the student pages walk you through that process of how to write it. So I'm going to pick certain topics out of here. We may not go through all of them because we might not work through them as quickly as this does. We might take more than 1 week or 2 to do whichever paper that is. And then we'll use this for the process of walking her through it if she is struggling with that topic. Now she has been doing the grammar in the grade 4 portion. And one of the reasons why I moved her to this was because it does have daily grammar, or it does 4 days a week. This is a 4-day-a-week curriculum. And so she really needed more practice with grammar. Now, I still feel like even with this, she still struggles to remember the different parts of speech and what they are and things like that. So whenever she goes back and reviews something in this, she still needs help or assistance to remember. So I did decide to go ahead and have her work through Fix-It Grammar, because with Fix-It Grammar, it's the repetition of labeling the same things in your sentences each week. So this has a student book and a teacher's book. I actually had the old version of this, and I had to upgrade to the new one just because I think it looks so much better. I feel like if you've done Fix-It Grammar before, you know that they used to have four sentences for each week that the student corrects or edits and then rewrites. And they used to have all 4 sentences on the same page, but now they have a page for each sentence, and at the top now it tells you what you're going to mark in each sentence, or how many of each things. So if you have 2 articles and 2 nouns and 3 pronouns. But I feel like this will help her because the repetition of, okay, what's a pronoun? Every single day, labeling pronoun, 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 because she still struggles with remembering which of these words is a pronoun. So I'm really hoping that this will help her start to retain those parts of speech. And we have enjoyed doing this in the past, so I think that she will enjoy it. And she will just do this kind of as a supplement, but still do the grammar in Lightning Literature. So that is her English, language arts. And next is science. She is going to be doing science with her brother, and we're going back to God's Design by Masterbooks just because this, to me, is the easiest science to get accomplished. Science is where that's like the first thing to go whenever we run out of time for me, and it's also, if the science requires a lot of material for experiments, it's just not going to happen here because I just am not one to gather all the materials and go shopping for stuff just to do an experiment. So this works really well because we can read the chapters, answer the questions. Some of the experiments are very easy and they don't have like a whole lot of material. Any of the ones that do, we can skip the experiment and just move on in the book, and it's not a big deal. We are going to be doing physical world. This has machines in motion, heat and energy, and inventions and technology. The textbook has lots of color, and each chapter has a section that just has questions, what did we learn, and taking it further. And so we just read and answer those questions and discuss it. And it does have the teacher's guide with the worksheets. They basically have those same questions that are in every chapter. And then if there is an experiment or anything, activity, it has the work pages in here for that. So that's what we will be doing for science. She does take piano lessons and has been doing really well with that. She's been doing it for a year now and is doing really good. So she will continue to do piano lessons. And we haven't really decided anything else on any other electives, but this is her core curriculum for next year for 6th grade. If there's anything here that you would like to have a closer look at, then just leave me a comment below and I'll try to get a video on that curriculum where you can actually have a look inside of what it looks like and tell you more about it if I can. I hope that this has been helpful to you. I know that just because what works for me doesn't work for everybody else, but hopefully you can kind of get an idea of what these curriculums entail and see if any of them would be helpful for you. If you have a favorite curriculum for 6th grade, then share it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas and would love to see what you enjoy using with your family. Thanks for watching.